He's doing a good job here. He's got his hands locked.
An 11-2 major decision for Isaac Roble and the Boilermakers.
What a win for Hayden Filipovic to get the job done. He put Andrews on his back a couple of times.
Grayson Clark scores the final 8 points to take a 9-4 victory.
Beautiful job by Blaze. You saw him kind of drag it back with his head stuck in the middle.
Boilermaker faithful here in Holloway Gym, giving Ben Benadia a round of applause as he picks up his 4th Big Ten dual victory.
And he gets the takedown. Brody.
Welcome to the Always Aggressive Podcast. I'm your host, Tanner Lipsett. With me, the head coach, Tony Ersland, our producer, Corey Palm. How's everybody doing on this fine Wednesday afternoon?
Doing awesome. I usually start off talking about the weather the last couple of weeks. I'll do the same. Today tops all. I think, mid-60s, sun shines out. It feels warm out walking around in mid-February here. So let me just start off once again saying how beautiful the weather is in West Lafayette.
It is insane.
Yeah, recruits take notice.
February 18th, and we are
beautiful.
Yeah, people are walking around in shorts and
working on their tan.
Yeah, it's gorgeous outside.
So I think we've done that the last 3-4 episodes maybe. So today was worth
possible.
a mention. Yeah,
it's been such a. I mean,
up and down.
You don't like the weather in Indiana? Wait 5 minutes, right?
That's right.
It'll be different. So, coming off our final home duel of the season, we hosted Iowa on Sunday, and team score did not go the way we wanted it to. But overall, it was a very competitive duel.
Yeah, the score, if you just look at the score, lopsided. We did have 3 matches that really got away from us, that kind of separated from a score standpoint. You know, you look at, we gave up a fall at 197. We had an unfortunate deal at 174. Costello went into concussion protocol and had to default the match, so we gave him 6 there as well. And then 133 kind of got away from us. So 3 bouts there, just from what the team score looked like, kind of separated it out. But honestly, fairly happy with those other ways how we competed, because there was a number of really tight matches and situations that were a lot of fun. Guys wrestled hard, and it's kind of like one situation sends the match back your way. So overall, as you kind of mentioned, the guys competed pretty hard and pretty well against some good kids.
Let's get into some of those tight matches. I think one in particular, 141 pounds. The true freshman Isaiah Schaefer went out and used one of his final 5 dates, and
actually I think he has one more date left. Just so to be factually correct.
Yeah, I said one of his final 5.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
I did that.
We got one more left. I want to mention that on camera just in case something
Corey,
happens.
You can check the tape on that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good on
Replay.
that. Neither one of you are wrong. Keep going.
So, I think Schaefer gave the Purdue faithful another glimpse of what the next 4 years are going to look like, and what he brings to the table.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He always represents himself very well, and that match was no different. Came out, struck early, and continued to wrestle hard and to try to build his lead. Ended up going in overtime, and I was happy with the situation he created. We lost a scramble off our attack, but as you watch that attack develop off the setup to the penetration, I thought, man, we were in a great position to get it done, and we just got out scrambled a little bit there to give up the points. But super happy again with his aggressiveness and his execution. And you think about he's a true freshman, and he's up a weight. You'll see him down at 133 next year as the plan goes. But a lot to be excited about with Isaiah and how he's continued to progress through the season.
I think it's amazing how mature he looks at times, and he does not panic. He does not deviate from his plan and his strategy. I mean, Cale Peterson hit a number of really slick attacks that didn't turn into points for him.
Yeah, a number of good exchanges from both guys there, right? Like there was good action all the way through the match, and we just wound up tied going to OT, and it wasn't because they were standing around. And those are the kind of fun matches you like to see. Guys getting after it, getting to their scoring holds and kind of creating points, and they did.
Another really tight one at 149 pounds. Gavin Brown had, you ended up, for a guy that does not throw the brick very often, you tossed it in there on a takedown attempt, or, what looked like a takedown on the edge, and, didn't get the points, ended up, giving up, the final score didn't reflect the bout. He gave up a takedown late as he flurried.
Yep.
But another, a great effort by Gavin.
Yeah, right there. He's close. He's close against good people, right? Another
Sure.
top 20 opponent in Ryder Block there. A guy who's a good, stingy, solid competitor. And as you mentioned already, he had a really nice attack. We thought it was so nice. In fact, when he had both ankles and the kid fell on his hip, we thought we had points, and so we threw the brick. Didn't get it to go our way, but that would have put us ahead in the match at that time, right? And made it kind of a different situation in the third period. So unfortunate. But again, from a process standpoint, liked how he competed, how he held up, and how he executed by and large. We just got to make sure there's no doubt. I mean, it was a tough call, and we knew it was a tough call on the brick, but you just can't leave any doubt in an official's mind. We gotta get them both and show control.
An interesting sidebar here as we talk about reaction time and control and the national landscape. It was a rough weekend for officials from a criticism standpoint across social media and a variety of duels across the country. And I guess my question is, how fair or unfair is reaction time to officials at this level?
Listen, it's tough. I have a healthy amount of respect for the officials and what they have to do, what that job entails.
I don't want to do that job.
These kids are so good these days. They understand the sport. They're very savvy. They understand how to adapt and adjust to how the rules are being applied out there. And so they put these guys in some really tough spots. There's no doubt. There's a lot of tough calls. But at the same time, like, you're in the Big Ten, and that's what you sign up for. It's just like us from a coaching standpoint.
Yep.
That's what I signed up for. We signed up to wrestle the best every week, and we get excited about that. And, as officials, you expect the same thing. And, you want to see them be decisive and throw points when they're there, not kind of waffle or hold or hang, in decision making. I think you got to make strong decisions. And that's not a comment on anybody that we've had or haven't.
Sure.
That's just in general. I think, again, these kids are so good that when you think you got points, you got to throw them up and get them on the board. And then if you have to go back and review or do whatever you do. But I think that's just a general comment on, man, how good the wrestling is and how many scrambles you see. So, if you saw points and then it goes to a scramble, well, throw points, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because you hold on too long and the position's going to change. That's how good kids are these days.
For sure. As a coach, when some of these calls don't go your way, how hard is it, and how do you go about keeping, the team from getting too discouraged, keeping your wrestlers from getting discouraged, keeping, to use a Purdue thing, how do you keep the train on the tracks?
Yeah, I think
Corey, you like that one, don't you? Yeah, I knew you would.
It's on brand.
You have to kind of demonstrate what you preach to your guys. I know we've talked about it here a number of times. I think you got to be where your feet are. You gotta be in the moment, right? It's 20 seconds at a time. We talk a lot like, hey, it's 20 seconds at a time. Once those 20 are gone, it's the next 20. That's the most important 20. And so as a coach, it has to be the same thing. Like, there's going to be disappointment in that maybe you didn't get the call to go your way or whatever happened, but you have to move past it quickly then. I mean, there's going to be film breakdown when you're watching with the guys, and discussion later. But in that moment, you got to let it go as fast as it happened, because it doesn't do you any good towards your chances of winning the match in the next minute or 2 minutes or whatever is left. So I try, to just like we talked to the guys, move past it quick. Let's be in the present. And so you let it go as best you can, and you move forward.
Another incredibly tight scrap at 184 pounds with James Rowley and Gabe Arnold. Another tight call that could have gone our way and didn't. Yeah. But James really executed and stuck to his game plan and was right in there all the way to the finish.
Yeah, I'm excited when you talk about that he created a super great, nice opportunity off a high C. Like that's what I get excited about. He's wrestling a stingy opponent, Gabe Arnold, another guy, doesn't give up a lot of points, can wrestle it tight with just about anybody in the country. And we gave up a takedown early, and then we've got to come hard and get after him. And he created a really nice attack. And again, maybe we have points, maybe not. The official didn't think so, but he really picked it up from that point on. He didn't hang his head. He was still working at the very end, trying to put something together. So that's where I get excited. We're wrestling good people, and again, he's a little short, but he was creating opportunities that will pay him back at the end. And then that's what I want to focus on more is, let's be excited about the one you did create. It didn't go your way this time, but hey, next time, we can get the one we need.
I think the match everybody's been waiting for us to talk about, 165 pounds. It was number 3 versus number 4 with Caliendo and Joey Blaze. And, you could argue the best performance of Joey Blaze's career in a single match as he took out the 2-time national finalist.
Yeah, I think Joey would even tell you that ranks up there high, in terms of his career matches, in terms of how he felt about it. You could see, before leading up to it, his energy level was great. His focus was narrow. Like, he was in a really good place. Like, he really got himself into a great frame of mind for this match. And that's what you want to see. You want to see guys, narrow that focus and really be, where they need to be. Like, I call it self-regulation. Guys who understand how to kind of self-regulate themselves in those moments are guys who do really well. The moment doesn't get too big because they know where they need to put themselves. And that's where I think Joey did a great job, is he put himself in just a great frame of mind and knowing what he had to do from an energy level and from a focus level. And then he went out and he dictated really well. He made Caliendo engage him on his terms, from scrambles and from leg attacks and hand fight. And I think he really carried the pace and the tempo of the match from the opening seconds all the way to the end.
I know I got a little nervous when Joey picked up that stall call early in the first period.
Man, that was like 20 seconds in.
It was,
so fast.
It was. Yeah. They pulled the trigger really quickly on it. How did you handle that as a coach? As far as I know, Joey looked calm about it.
Yeah.
But I'd be lying if I said it didn't make me a little nervous early.
For sure. And I'd be lying too if I said, hey, that has no impact on you. Because when you give up a stall call that early, you kind of go to, hey, from a hand fight aspect late in the match, if we're in a tight match, is he going to try to nickel and dime? It just pushes through the zone and get the stall call, right?
Sure.
Is that kind of, how he's going to game the rules, if you will, on the edge? And so then did we put ourselves in a tough spot? But to Joey's credit, man, he carried the fight the rest of the way. He got in there, hand fought hard, created scrambles, created leg attacks, and then it was a non-factor at the end. And that's what good competitors do.
Honestly, that's kind of where I was going to go, is the fact that after that moment, he dictated the entire rest of the match. I don't think I didn't feel there was ever a situation where I was, nervous about where Joey was. He looked comfortable, cool, calm, and ready to score points for the rest of the match.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Like you said, he managed some different situations pretty well. He was on top quite a while in with a leg in a scramble situation there that I thought could have gotten a little dicey, but he managed it well. He never really put himself in big danger. He managed those situations really well, and you have to, especially at Big Tens and Nationals. Those situations, those edge of the mat rules. How are you going to finish a period on top, riding a guy out? Like, those become important factors in winning tight matches. And again, he did a good job, stayed comfortable, and never put himself in a tough spot after that opening stall call.
Obviously, we can't look too far into the future. We don't know what it holds. But how much does a match like this help a guy like Joey as he gets ready for Big Ten championships, NCAA championships?
It just keeps reassuring you about where you're at and what you're doing. Joey is at a point where he's confident. He knows he can win, against anybody. And so I hate to say it's a huge deal, right? Like, Joey had an expectation. I had an expectation. Our staff had an expectation of him going out and performing the way he did. So you don't want to make it, too big. You don't want to ride highs and lows. But I think it just say, where I'm at with my conditioning and my execution for this time of year is in a really good place. And it just kind of reassures you that you're on the right track as we wind down towards Big Tens and NCAA championships.
I think it's hard to move past this match without talking about the atmosphere in Holloway and the crowd that showed up for that match. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people were there to see. They wanted to see Caliendo and Blaze, and and they got the show that they wanted. And I mean, that was one of the better environments in Holloway that I've been a part of in a while.
It was, and I told our guys even afterwards, that's what happens when you get people excited. You create points and positions and scrambles and action, you know what I mean? And you're in the matches and they're tight, you know, and the result is in doubt within each instrument. You get people involved, they get excited, they get loud, and that's the kind of environment that's possible. So that was awesome to have the crowd into it, you know, throughout the duel. And, you know, even, you know, Phil at the end winning like he did with the bear hug to the body lock was fun, right? The crowd got up, we got to end on a win. The crowd was into it and loud at the very end for Purdue. So it shows you what shows our guys, I hope, what they can do with good hard-nosed wrestling against good people.
Corey, wanted you to follow in there as well as a spectator, and I know you weren't on the broadcast and you had the opportunity to kind of sit back and watch things. You know, from a crowd standpoint, what were your thoughts on Holloway on Sunday?
Yeah, we usually, you know, we get a good crowd whenever Iowa comes to town. It's been a long time since Penn State came to town for a Big Ten duel. But the Hawkeyes come here pretty regularly, and it's always a good crowd. But I agree, there was a lot more anticipation, a lot fewer Iowa fans, it seemed, wearing that ugly yellow. I'm sorry, wearing that
buddy,
that other shade of sorry. This is all me. This is nobody else. No, it was electric.
Shots fired.
It was a great atmosphere, and like you said, you know, it wasn't just the 165 match. There was good competition up and down the roster. There were, you know, a couple Purdue wins, a couple more that we were close on.
Yep.
And there was juice in the building. It was a really cool feeling.
Yeah, no, that's great. Juice in the building. I like that. See, that's and that's what the guys have got to continue to understand. Like I you know, we train hard so we can win, no doubt. But the ultimate goal, man, is if you can score points and push pace and really be entertaining while you're wrestling. You know, winning's fun too, but you know, winning one, standing around and maybe win on a stall call or a push out is not what our ultimate goal is, right? To get in there and exchange and score points and to wrestle hard and to compete like that is the ultimate goal. And you know, the winning's a byproduct of that. So that's where I wanted to focus with the guys too, is, hey, you did a nice job of getting the crowd into it. Yeah, we got to close in some situations better, but you got people into it, and that's part of what this is about as well.
Absolutely. You alluded to it. Hayden Filipovich took us out with a nice win at heavyweight. His final career duel in Mackey Arena, going to be a nice memory for our senior.
Yeah, it's been a great career for Phil. He's a tremendous leader, a tremendous student, just a tremendous man. You know, as many of our guys are. But to see him go out and close the duel like that was awesome to see. You know, puts a big smile on your face when you watch somebody finish like that in front of their home crowd.
A busy next couple weeks on tap for the Boilermakers. Obviously, we're not quite done with the dual season yet, but the door has opened on the high school postseason tournaments across the country. A few of them already happened. Shout out to one of our signees, Drake Huiman, won his 4th Nevada State title. Super proud of Drake. Nice work. Kicked it off for the rest of these guys. But the next 3 weeks are going to be crazy as you and the rest of the staff are going to be all over the country. We'll get it started Friday and Saturday down in Indianapolis with the Indiana State Tournament, and also over in Champaign at the Illinois State Tournament.
Yeah, and they start tomorrow, right? They
start Thursday.
They start Thursday, so this is a big weekend across the country.
Sure.
A number of state championships, and as you just mentioned, we're going to be at a lot of these. You know, we will have people at Illinois and Indiana this weekend as well. I know we're doing Missouri, California, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
There's a lot. We're going to be out, and we're going to be very busy. So besides training the guys and getting them ready to peak, we're going to be out scouring, looking for future Boilermakers.
You know, a lot of our signees coming up. You know, you talk about Indiana. You got Nate Rue. You got Jackson Bradley.
Yep.
Zach Stewart's going to be over in Illinois. You know, some other guys that, you know, younger guys that we can't mention their,
right.
Commits that we can't mention their name. They'll be off and running. But, you know, in addition to being around the guys, obviously, that have already signed and committed to be with us, how much do you get to really get in there and see some of these kids as they come up and perform at the state tournament level?
It's just fun just because you know what it means, right? Just like our guys. You see how much they sacrifice, and it comes down to Big Tens and NCAAs. This is accumulation. And for the guys that you can talk about that you just mentioned, right, they're seniors. This is their last go-around. So it's a lot of fun to see these kids in the emotion and the passion they compete with, to cap their high school career with the ultimate goal of being a state champ.
Like you said, going to be a busy one this weekend. Next weekend, Coach Soufflon down to Missouri to see some guys.
Yep.
Coach Vega going to California to see some guys.
Yep.
And then in a very unique situation, the same weekend of Big Ten championships is the Pennsylvania State Championships. And so some of the staff will scoot over probably on Friday before we get going and get to see some of the PA guys go at it.
Yeah, that opportunity doesn't always present itself. It's not uncommon for PA or even Ohio, a few years ago to be on the same weekend as the Big Ten championships. But with us being out in State College anyway, we've got that unique opportunity to be able to recruit at the state championships at the same time while we're coming in and flying and getting ready for Big Tens.
How mad is the Blaze family that they finally got the Big Ten championships and the Ohio State championships on different weekends, after they have had to try and split time between their kids over the last couple years?
I tell you what, they are troopers. I mean, they are troopers. I talked to them after the duel a little bit on Sunday, and boy, the mileage that they're doing right now.
Oh, it's crazy.
With both of their boys is tremendous, but awesome to see. And clearly, both of them are having a heck of a year.
Yeah, incredible. There's and lots left to do, obviously, for both of
yes.
them. Last duel of the year on Friday. We're going to head down to Bloomington to that other school down south.
Big one.
And see if we can finish this thing here on a high note. Should be an incredible duel start to finish.
Yeah, there's a lot of great matchups, that I'm excited about. And we just talked about with the Hawks, like how we competed well at a number of weights. So I'm excited about that. Like, guys are rounding into form as you want to. As you start to head in towards peaking for Big Ten. So I'm expecting their best, right? I mean, we, like I said, we're getting ready to go into Big Tens in a few weeks. So, I'm excited to watch these guys really go out and carry the pace and the execution of the match on Friday.
A lot of great matchups to look at, a lot of ranked matchups. But one thing I will say, we have been a little nicked up towards the end of the season, as everyone is. Mm-hmm. We say it often. It's a grind.
Yep.
Getting through the Big Ten and the just unbelievable opponents you face week in and week out. But looking like we'll get a few of these guys back in the lineup as we look to close here.
No, absolutely. And that's kind of what we've been trying to do. Is if you've been watching duel to duel, obviously we've been missing starters in and out here and there. But that is to get to the end here and have them, again, be ready to compete for their ultimate goal, at the Big Tens and NCAAs. But we'll have, we won't go into great depth about who, but
sure.
Yes, we're anticipating getting some people back and being closer to full strength than what we've been maybe for the last 3 weeks.
Got a call from our guy Shane Sparks at the Big Ten Network here this week, and he was asking me about one or two of the guys about, how are they doing? What is the prognosis? Are they going to be back for this? Are they going to be back for that?
Yep.
And so, Shane, off the record is always one of the best in that in that way, and was able to share a little bit with him. But it'll be good to see some of those guys get back in the singlet, get back on the mat, and hopefully push us to a win over the Hoosiers.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Again, this is what you train for, right? This is championship time of year, both for the high school guys and for the collegiate guys. This is the time of year that you suffer and sacrifice around, and now why you're going to go out and lay it all on the line and have fun because you've earned the right to do that.
Two really good ones to look at, 165 and 184 pounds. Joey Blaze looks to close out an undefeated regular season. Tyler Lillard's a guy he's familiar with, being another Ohio guy.
Yep.
And but will be the first meeting between the two of them.
Yep.
Should be a nice matchup.
No, absolutely. And just like we saw, with Joey, against Caliendo, right? Knowing he's going to go out and carry pace and really, make a guy work hard to stay with him is something that, I'm looking forward to. You know what I mean? And that, honestly, I'm looking forward to that with every guy. I know we talk a lot about Joey because of the great things he's done, but truly that's what we want for everyone. Go out, establish the tone, drag a guy into your match with your pace, and do that from the first whistle to the last.
I brought up 184 James Rowley, the veteran, against redshirt freshman Sam Goen from IU. Two guys that are ranked right around the same area of, they're in the middle of the pack there nationally, and just should be a nice scrap with two guys, one guy just getting started, one guy an established veteran. Should be a good matchup.
No doubt. And that match or that matchup is kind of a microcosm of a lot of weights, right? There's a lot of where those guys are ranked like that, and the team who's going to kind of grab the duel, by the neck is the one who's going to win those kind of bouts.
For sure. So down in Bloomington, should be on Big Ten Plus. Will be a great scrap, 7 o'clock Friday night in Bloomington. Hope you're able to either join us for the match or watch online. Coach, that's about all we got this week. Corey, anything else that we had on the slate that we missed?
No, but we've got some great topics for next week that came up in my head as we were talking. So a little tease to look forward to. We're always looking forward.
Yep. The last thing I will mention, we talked about it a little bit, but just because this is maybe the last time, is just another shout out to the seniors, because that was a great. We talked about Phil going out as a winner, but we did honor all of the seniors, and that was 8
of them. That was a big group.
That was a big group for us, but awesome. A great group of guys, and that was kind of an emotional day. Just to know that was the last time at home for those guys.
And honestly, when we did the videos of all the parents and the coaches and people, giving their well wishes to everybody, just an incredible, like when I think there was a moment for me when we had all the families and all the kids out on the mat. Mm-hmm. You look at all the years and the different socials and the banquets and the wrestle-offs and all the events that it's been an incredible class, both from the athletes and their families over the last 4 to 5 years.
Yep, and that was kind of a culmination of sorts. Obviously, these guys are going to go on and do tremendous things because of who they are, but that's you're kind of closing one segment of life, I guess, there, and so that was a big one. Yeah. That was a big one.
And a huge thank you to all the people around the program that helped make that happen and helped make it a special night for everybody. Brooke Weber, Nicole Piercy, Sydney Case. There were a lot of people that had a little hand of this, that, or a third to make that all go off well. So appreciate everybody's help.
The videos were awesome, by the way. Yeah, I loved watching. I hadn't seen those because they get edited down, right? Yep. So I don't get to see those before, but it was a lot of fun watching the different people wish all of our guys.
Brooke said it was hard to crush some of those into 30 seconds.
I can imagine it was, no doubt.
So, well, that's it for this week on the Always Aggressive podcast. Thanks for joining us. For the head coach, Tony Ersland, for Corey Palm, I'm Tanner Lipsett. We'll see you next week on the Always Aggressive podcast. Boiler up.
To take a 9-4 victory.
Beautiful job by Blaze. You saw him kind of drag him back with his head stuck in the middle.
Boilermaker faithful here in Holloway Gym, giving Ben Benadia a round of applause as he picks up his 4th Big Ten dual victory.
Against the